We're going to find the equation of this black graph, g of x. Okay, so we have labeled the red graph as f of x, the black graph as g of x. You may or may not know that these are absolute values. Okay, in the word absolute value, there's a big V, and that's the shape that the graph makes. And the things you need to know here are the transformations of where the vertex moved to. So the vertex is right here. It started at 0, 0 on your parent shape. And you can see that from the parent shape, it has shifted onto, let's see where it's shifted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left, and up, looks like 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this point here is negative 5, 5, okay, and they call that the vertex right there. So the equation of absolute value is going to be a x minus h plus k, where the h and k is the vertex. You may know that, you may not need to know that. You can probably just find out where it shifts and plug in the negative 5 and 5. So g of x equals a x minus h plus k. H is negative 5, k is 5. Okay, now note here, two negatives minus a negative is going to be a positive. So right now we are at g of x equals a absolute value of x plus 5 plus 5. Let me fix that. Make this look more like absolute value. Okay, the thing we don't know is the a. A is going to tell you whether it stretches, whether it compresses, and whether it reflects. Now, we can solve for a if we find another point on this black graph, and we're going to plug it in for x and y. So you can find any point that looks good to you. I think this looks like a pretty good point right there. That to me looks like it is negative 6 in the x direction and 1 in the y direction. So I'm going to plug that point in, negative 6 and 1. Okay, noting that your negative 6 is your x and your y is your 1. If I plug that in here and here, this is actually y. The g of x is the same thing as y. So if I plug it in here and here, I'll be able to solve for a, and then I'll have my equation. So let's do that now. Y is, for this point, is 1 equals a absolute value of x. X is negative 6 plus 5, absolute value plus 5. All right. Now, one unknown, one equation. I need to solve for a. I have 1 equals a absolute value of negative 6 plus 5. That's the absolute value of negative 1, which is 1. 1 equals a times 1 plus 5. A times 1 is just a. 1 equals a plus 5. And now one more step to solve for a. To get it by itself, I will subtract 5 on both sides. Equal sign drops down. Here's the a by itself. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. All right, so here is my equation. All I have to do is take this, plug it in right here, and I'll have my equation. The g of x, I'll put it in black. The g of x equals a x minus h plus k. Now, I already know from right here that this is going to be, the a is going to be negative 4. Okay, so that's from right here. The a is going to be negative 4. I'll put that in black. Negative 4, open parentheses, not parentheses, that's absolute value. X minus h, which is a negative 5. So that's x plus 5 plus k, which is 5. Okay, we already had all of that right here. The only thing I'm doing is I'm putting in the negative 4 right here. Okay, you see plus 5 and plus 5, we already knew that. Plus 5 and plus 5, we already knew that. So here's my equation. All right, and then you could check it the other way. You could say, oh, well, it's an absolute value. It is reflecting. Okay, and that reflects down over the x-axis. It is going to shift left, 5 left, and it is going to go 5 up. Okay, and that is what we have. Oh, I forgot. It also is going to stretch. Okay, see how this one's kind of wider, and if you stretch it, it looks more like that. All right, that's it.